The Indiana Fever have in fact signed
added somebody to the roster, and it's
Chloe Bibby.
Chloe Bibby, who was recently on the Golden State Valkyries, has been signed to the Indiana Fever.
We have Chloe Bibby signing contract with the Indiana Fever.
Big news out of Indiana. The Fever just signed Chloe Bibby to a 7-day contract right as Caitlin Clark's return.
Shocking turn of events, the Indiana Fever made it their business to add Chloe Bibby to their roster after beating the Las Vegas Aces at home last night.
Remains uncertain. They say it's not a replacement, but the timing raises eyebrows. Are they preparing for a future without their star?
Hey, Caitlin Clark is out for the foreseeable future. No timetable set in stone for her return, the injury and the status of injury.
If you stand 100% with Caitlin Clark, drop 100% in the comments and show her the love she deserves.
Clark has firmly established herself as the biggest name in the WNBA, and as proven by this latest record-breaking purchase, fans and collectors alike are adamant that her stock will continue to rise in the coming years.
Caitlin Clark isn't just another player on the Indiana Fever. She's the heartbeat of the team, the center of attention, and the main reason the franchise is even in the national spotlight.
Caitlin Clark sat out for a third consecutive game on Thursday night due to her injury, as the Indiana Fever secured a much-needed 80-70 win over A'ja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces.
But now the team's biggest star is sidelined once again, and this time the silence around her status is louder than ever. The Fever have confirmed she's aggravated the same groin injury that previously kept her out for 5 games.
You see here, Clark will continue working with the medical team in her recovery and rehab, with the priority of her long-term health and well-being. There's no timetable for her return.
There is no timetable available for Clark's return, and no additional details will be provided at this time.
There's no timetable available for Clark's return, and no additional details will be provided at this time.
But here's the problem. There's no clear timeline, no progress update, just vague uncertainty.
But I did see, without Caitlin Clark, we're just going to have that with the Indiana. Without Caitlin Clark, this is not like Showtime Fever.
And when a superstar like Caitlin is missing without answers, it sends alarm bells ringing. Fans are worried, and rightfully so.
The only thing stopping Caitlin Clark from continuing to blowing these things out of their numbers might be the Indiana Fever and Stephanie White.
Caitlin's impact on the floor is unmatched. Her vision, shooting range, and spark turn the Fever's offense into something dangerous. Without her, it all unravels. The team struggles to find rhythm, ball movement stalls, and their entire offensive identity vanishes.
However, I'm taking that into consideration, and I'm thinking of this as a team that is developing without Caitlin Clark, so that when she comes back, they can hold their own, and I am seeing some great things coming from the Indiana Fever.
Caitlin is more than just a rookie. She's the foundation, and without her, the team's flaws become impossible to ignore. But here's the truly painful part. She's been left unprotected.
Caitlin Clark has changed the game. She changed it in college and in the WNBA.
The country has fallen in love with what we have created. And America, here's the girl next door, all grown up, Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark has captivated the nation, breaking scoring records in college and bringing women's basketball to a whole new audience.
She is a phenomenon.
Caitlin has taken more hard hits than most players, and yet the whistles often stay silent. Time and again, clear fouls have gone uncalled. And the league's response? Virtually nothing.
And we found this clip right here, man, that has since went viral all over the internet. And I'm telling you right now, this is not a good look. Shout out to Heavens FX. He said that the stuff the WNBA ignores then makes foul calls like this on Sophie Cunningham beyond comical. Caitlin will shoot 50 free throws a game if she got this whistle.
Videos of missed calls have gone viral, sparking fan outrage. But still, the WNBA and the Fever have stayed quiet. That lack of support is starting to feel intentional. Even injured, Caitlin continues breaking records and lifting the league.
Caitlin Clark breaking records on the court, breaking records off the court. Record smashed. From 366,000 to 660,000. Caitlin Clark hype is real. The effect is real. And by the looks of things, by ratings, collectibles, cards, it is not going away anytime soon.
Her one-of-one rookie card just sold for a mind-blowing $660,000. doubling her own previous record and becoming the highest-priced WNBA card in history.
Clark has firmly established herself as the biggest name in the WNBA, and as proven by this latest record-breaking purchase, fans and collectors alike are adamant that her stock will continue to rise in the coming years.
That's not just hype, that's historic impact. Caitlin is changing the game both on and off the court. So how is it possible that someone bringing this much value is being treated like a replaceable name on a roster?
The market understands Caitlin Clark's worth. The market understands Caitlin Clark's notoriety. The market understands what Caitlin Clark brings to the table, but Kathy Engelbert just doesn't get it yet. The Fever, they just don't get it yet. Steph, they just don't get it yet. I don't know what it's going to take.
While she recovers in silence, the team is making shadowy moves without full transparency. It's got fans talking, and not in a good way. This isn't just about an injury anymore. It's about whether the Fever truly see Caitlin as the future or just a short-term boost. She deserves protection.
Clark has firmly established herself as the biggest name in the WNBA, and as proven by this latest record-breaking purchase, fans and collectors alike are adamant that her stock will continue to rise in the coming years.
She deserves priority. Most of all, she deserves respect for carrying this franchise to relevance. But with her future unclear and the team making odd short-term signings, it's hard not to wonder, are the Fever quietly preparing for life without Caitlin Clark?
The Indiana Fever just announced that they have signed Chloe Bibby to a 7-day contract. Welcome to Indy, Chloe. Now, the main thing I remember about Chloe,
right on the heels of the announcement that Caitlin Clark could be missing more time, the Indiana Fever made an unexpected move. They signed Chloe Bibby to a short 7-day contract.
She was doing really well with the Valkyries. I think she was only with them for about 5 games, while a lot of their players went over to Eurobasket, which I think was like the 19th to the 29th or somewhere along those.
On the surface, it might look like a minor roster shuffle, but when you connect the dots, the timing, the lack of clarity on Caitlin's recovery, and the desperation in recent games, it paints a much more complicated picture.
The Indiana Fever have signed Australian forward Chloe Bibby to a 7-day contract, the team announced today. Bibby most recently featured with the Golden State Valkyries with 2 stints during the 2025 season. She is 27 years old, so she is more mature than others that don't have this much experience. 6.4 points, 2.8 rebounds, 40% from the field, 42% from 3.
Is this just a short-term bandage or the early signs of a deeper shift? Let's talk about who Chloe Bibby is. At 27 years old, the Australian forward isn't a WNBA star yet. She only appeared in 5 games with the Golden State Valkyries earlier this season, but she made her presence felt in that short window. Ironically, it was against the Fever that she had her breakout moment, dropping 12 points and drilling 2 3-pointers out of 6 attempts. That performance clearly stuck with Indiana's front office, because now she's back.
Last time we saw Chloe Bibby, she dropped 12 points against the Indiana Fever. Wait for it, in her WNBA debut. She shoots over 40% from the field. She shoots over 40% from 3. But before we get into that, Caitlin Clark breaking records on the court, breaking records off the court. Record smashed.
This time wearing a Fever jersey. Chloe isn't expected to replace Caitlin Clark's production or superstar aura. That would be impossible. But she does bring one key weapon the team desperately needs: shooting. In her limited WNBA action, she shot an impressive 42% from beyond the arc.
Chloe Bibby does have a 3-point shot that Ami here did not exactly have.
That kind of perimeter efficiency is something the Fever have lacked without Caitlin spacing the floor. Without Clark's gravity, the offense has looked predictable, slow, and congested in the paint. Bringing in Chloe, even temporarily, could help open things up for players like Aaliyah Boston to operate more freely inside. Still, Chloe's signing also sheds light on the deeper problems in Indiana's rotation. The bench has been inconsistent at best. Players like Brianna Turner have seen their minutes cut due to a lack of impact.
This the thing with Caitlin. And listen, I could tell a lot of people don't understand basketball, and a lot of you do, but a lot of you guys don't. Caitlin is a scoring machine.
And others haven't stepped up. The message sent by this signing is loud and clear. If you're not producing, you're on the chopping block. It forces accountability, but also reveals that the team is scrambling to find workable combinations without Caitlin leading the charge.
Chloe Bibby signing to a 7-day contract with the Indiana Fever.
Yet let's be real, this isn't a master plan. This is a 1-week deal. It's a gamble, a short-term test run. The Fever are hoping Chloe can offer a scoring boost and maybe shift the momentum, but they're not betting the future on her. That's what makes the move feel both daring and panicked. Daring because they're trying out an unfamiliar face in the middle of a critical stretch. Panicked because it shows just how unprepared they are to navigate games without Clark on the floor.
All we need is someone that just gives a little bit extra. A little bit extra. And I'm going to look more at her clips. I watched a couple of games in Asia Cup, and I think she was fine.
There's also no denying how bad the optics look. Signing someone just days after your franchise player goes down sends a message, whether it's intentional or not. And for many fans, the message is this: the Fever are bracing for a future without Caitlin.
Anyway, you get what I'm saying. And making those big free agency signings. A lot of people were wondering what the Indiana Fever were going to do in free agency. And I think that they were taking the same approach here, just kind of like trying to figure out what the landscape was, who was available. And from what I was seeing, there wasn't a lot available out there. I would have loved to sign Ami here, to be honest.
The short-term nature of the deal, the tight-lipped coaching staff, and the language used around temporary solutions all suggest uncertainty at the core of this team.
Hey, Caitlin Clark is out for the foreseeable future. No timetable set in stone for her return, the injury and the status of injury.
Let's be clear, Chloe Bibby is not Caitlin Clark. She's not being brought in to fill those massive shoes. But the fact that she's being signed now, in this moment, says everything about how unstable things are behind the scenes.
She is 27 years old, so she is more mature than others that don't have this much experience. 6.4 points, 2.8 rebounds, 40% from the field, 42% from three.
This isn't a long-term strategy. It's a stopgap, a Band-Aid on a much deeper wound. And while it may hold the pieces together for a few days, it won't fix the real problem. A team still lost without its superstar and seemingly without a clear vision.
In my live, we were all talking about this. People were talking about how the Aces are looking better, and they are. They have been looking better since A'ja Wilson came back with her wrist sprain. She's been putting down like 30-point games. But I just have to say, the Aces are as much, if not more of a mess than the Indiana Fever.
When a franchise turns to short-term fixes just days after losing the most impactful rookie in decades, it raises a simple but serious question. Are we witnessing emergency damage control? Or are we seeing the first signs of a deeper unraveling? Caitlin Clark's injury might be the headline, but the way the Indiana Fever are handling her absence is creating an even bigger story.
Like, even if she was going to Asia Cup, the Valks would have signed her right now. If she was good enough, she'd be on the Valkyries right now. She would absolutely be on the Valkyries right now if she was good enough. But at the same time, look, we also have to look at it. It probably means Michaela Timpson's minutes are gone down to negative minutes.
One that has fans and analysts alike wondering if her future in Indiana is already hanging by a thread. This situation didn't start with her groin injury. It's been building for months. Time after time, Caitlin Clark has been left exposed. From reckless hits on the court to baffling no calls by refs, she's absorbed more punishment than most players in the league, with barely any backup from the people meant to protect her.
So her stats don't seem very impressive, right? They don't seem very impressive, but I remember her from when we played the Valkyries, and she's solid.
Where is the WNBA's leadership? Where is the response from Indiana's coaching staff? Instead of fighting for their star, they've let her take the hits, physically, emotionally, and now medically. And yet, despite all of that, Caitlin is still elevating the league to new heights.
Maybe we can do that. Maybe we can have Timpson get some more minutes, giving her the 5, Chloe Bibby in there, Sophie Cunningham in there, Lexi Hull or Kelsey Mitchell in there, with Erin McDonald in there.
She's not just a rookie, she's a revolution. Her impact is historic. Her one-of-a-kind rookie card just shattered records, selling for an eye-watering $660,000. doubling her previous record and becoming the highest-selling WNBA card ever. Viewership is surging, merch is flying off the shelves, she's breaking the mold for what a WNBA player can be. And all of this is happening while she's on a team that doesn't seem to know how to build around her.
Who we saw yesterday was really good. And maybe she eats into Dantas' minutes, but like she is a better shooter. She is as good a shooter as a Dantas. Like she is a lights out shooter. Like we have to give, like, be honest there. If you are just looking at shooting and we just want a shooter, Chloe Bibby is absolutely perfect for that. She is perfect. Has a bit of size and she can shoot.
The truth is, Indiana isn't acting like a franchise that understands what it has. Instead of protecting Caitlin, they've built a shaky structure around her. A thin roster, unsteady coaching, and reactionary decision-making. Rather than strengthening the foundation around their generational talent, they're patching leaks with short-term contracts like Chloe Bibby, hoping something sticks.
Caitlin Clark has changed the game. She changed it in college and in the WNBA.
The country has fallen in love with what we have created. And America, here's the girl next door, all grown up, Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark has captivated the nation, breaking scoring records in college and bringing women's basketball to a whole new audience.
She is a phenomenon.
That's not how you build a future. That's how you lose it. And the online conversation is shifting rapidly. What started as concern over an injury has snowballed into something much bigger. Social media is buzzing with tough questions. Will Caitlin stay in Indiana if this continues? Will she eventually ask for a trade? Could she walk away from the franchise or even the league if she doesn't get the protection and respect she's earned? The tone among fans is no longer hopeful.
Caitlin Clark was averaging 24 points a game. Kelsey was averaging 26 points a game. And Kelsey was averaging 4 3-pointers made in every game, shooting 52, 47, 92%.
It's anxious, frustrated, even outraged. Let's be crystal clear. Caitlin Clark isn't the problem here. She's the solution. She's the most valuable player the Fever have ever had, not just in stats or wins, but in brand value, exposure, and cultural impact. But if the organization continues to treat her like a temporary headline instead of a cornerstone, there's no guarantee she'll stick around. She's got options. And other franchises, better organized, better prepared, would welcome her in a heartbeat. The signing of Chloe Bibby might seem like a small, temporary move, but it speaks volumes about the state of the Indiana Fever. It's not just about filling a roster spot. It's about trying to stay afloat while everything underneath is crumbling. And if the Fever don't get serious, fast, they may lose more than just a few games. They may lose Caitlin Clark altogether.
There is a concern there. There is a concern there if she's just not shooting well and not lighting it up. And the expectation is for her to do a little bit more. But at the end of the day, it's a signing. It's better. She's better than Bree Turner.
The Indiana Fever can say all the right things, that Chloe Bibby isn't replacing Caitlin Clark, that she'll be back soon, that everything's under control. But fans aren't buying it. They see the cracks forming. They feel the tension. Caitlin Clark has carried this franchise into the national spotlight, driven record-breaking attention, and fought through relentless adversity without the support she truly deserves.
All we need is someone that just gives a little bit extra. A little bit extra. And I'm going to look more at her clips. I watched a couple of games in Asia Cup, and I think she was fine.
And now, while she's injured and out of action, the team's response is to shuffle short-term pieces instead of rallying around her. It's not just disappointing, it's alarming. If the Fever don't change their approach, and fast, they risk alienating the very person who made them relevant. This isn't just about a groin injury or a 7-day contract. It's about whether the franchise is worthy of the star they've been gifted. If you're standing with Caitlin Clark through all of this, drop 100% in the comments and show the world she deserves more. More support, more protection, more respect. Because if the Indiana Fever don't realize what they won't have her much longer.